Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 30. I want everybody to like, subscribe, and share. And today we have a wonderful guest by the name of Megan Heaton.
Hi,
Welcome to the show.
hi, how are you? Good
I'm
to see you
good.
again.
Thank you for coming. I'm glad that
Thank you
you're
for
here.
having me.
Yes, definitely. This is a Philadelphia correspondent that's on the Rudy Giuliani show.
Yes, we love Rudy.
Yes, we love Rudy. So for the fact that you were willing to come on here, a fellow patriot, and
Yeah.
I met you a couple times. Actually, the first time I met you, we was at the Leah course. We didn't have too many words, but we both were behind Trump.
Yeah.
When he was talking here in Philly. Then I saw you at the JD Vance event when he came and spoke at Dysorb, I believe.
Dysorb, yep.
Yeah, and that's when we first exchanged. I did some content. We found each other on Instagram, and then the stars were aligned. And I was like, I saw what you did. You saw what I did. I was like, all right, I think we can help each other. And far as what I mean by help is that part of my agenda, I think your agenda has been to, let's change the culture. Let's change the narrative. Legacy media is dying. Let's be the pioneers to say, this is what the conservative movement is about. This is what we believe. This is why we chose this side. This is why we got behind Trump. This is what the real narrative is. And I named, as I said earlier on, like I've been naming these episodes, right? And when I think of you, and if anybody's in this space here, whether they're in Philly to Florida, they have heard of Megan Heaton, and some people should be familiar with your stories and what's been going on. There's a lot of things have been publicized, and I named it Fight or Flight.
Yeah.
And I think of you, and I think of you as a fighter.
Yeah.
And and it's funny because things have been kind of aligned. You look at what Trump has had to go through, and the American people kind of had to go through similar things when it comes to censorship, lawfare, and the tactics and the dirty tricks that the other side, they try to do to us, So I think we've been in correlation with the same things President Trump has been going through, right?
Absolutely. I would say, right now you have to fight for your freedoms. You don't, it's in history. When you look in history, the more that you start to lose your rights, you don't usually just get them back,
Right.
So if we don't let our voices be heard now, and luckily, with social media, there's pluses and there's pros and cons, but the pros are people are sharing a lot more information than they've ever been able to share before. And I'm not even just talking about, even if you get censored and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Telegram, you got all the WhatsApp, all these other things.
Yeah.
People around the world now are able to share information with each other.
Quick.
Yes. Do you know what I'm saying? So for the legacy media, this ruins their narrative.
Yes.
Because really when you turn on the screen, whether the screen could be the phone, could be the TV, when people turn it on, they're automatically taking what they're seeing. They think that that's real.
Right.
And they don't try to argue it. You have to, in the world that we live in today, be a critical thinker.
Yes.
Go on those .mil and those .gov websites and find out what
down that rabbit hole.
order is about.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it took for a tragic thing to happen to me for me to wake up. I think about the person I was before 6 years ago to now, and how much I've learned. It opens your eyes.
I do want to. I'm gonna bring that up. You said something that was very important or whatever, and you talk about when you pick up the phone and you look at what legacy media, what they try to do.
It's horrible.
And if you look at CNN, MSNBC, The View, CBS, ABC, and then you'll see they'll put a narrative out there. It's like they're all reading for the same exact script.
You've seen that.
You've seen that montage where they're all literally saying the same exact things. I look at the tactics that Kamala Harris tried to use to divide us, right? I look at the things that they were saying to try to divide the families when they were telling wives that it is okay to lie to your husband.
Unbelievable.
They were using
how dare you?
Like crazy, right? They were using things like they would get the stripper rappers and insult the woman and say, I'm gonna put these stripper, they would do things like, okay, I'm trying to think off the top some of the things that the dirty tricks that they were playing. Like Kamala would have one message about what's going on in Israel and Gaza in one part of the country, and in another part of the country, she's running a total different message or whatever, just trying to appease, both groups, never standing firm on anything.
Also she tried to piggyback off of Trump with the no tips. I mean, how crazy was that?
Yeah.
Be a little bit original, but also words are just words. If your action is not behind those words, no one cares. What have you been doing this whole time? I mean, the fact that she can't read off of a teleprompter or get somebody to write her a speech correctly, and during her campaign, I mean, she wouldn't even talk to the media. What is that about?
Yeah, not until late in the game, and I felt they told her, listen, you're losing, and you got. So do you ever felt like the time during the whole entire election, right? Let's get to it. Do you ever felt that she had anything that really resonated with you as a voter? Was there any policy, anything?
No, not one thing.
Not one thing?
Absolutely not. You're asking the wrong one.
Okay.
I like to study this stuff,
right.
In my free time. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
No, what I see is someone that's unqualified.
Right.
Someone, I mean, the whole Willie Brown thing, how she even got her way.
Right.
Let's not forget, you were in a throuple with Montel Williams. Yes. I mean, she's got a past. And which it's okay. Like you said, people have past and that's okay.
Right.
But also when you're running for the president of the United States, and let's not forget, I mean, what they did to Joe Biden, they used him, made all that money, and they said, okay, nope, we're done with you. You know what I mean?
So to that point of, you said
nothing about it was constitutional. Her even being nominated. It shouldn't have never happened.
Right. It shouldn't have happened. And I believe that the reason why they did that, because it was about money. They raised a lot of money when Joe Biden was on the ticket. And they said, if we don't give it to Kamala, then we can't do anything with this money.
Right.
And she was already on the ticket. That's why they took like a week and some change to even say, okay, this is who we're going to run with now. And
they had the plan already, but they can't make it look like it's so.
They lied to the people and said that he was fit for office, that, he had all his marbles. And then all of a sudden now.
I mean, he was touching men, women, and children, inappropriately in a weird way. How many different clips? Now, can you imagine if Trump did that?
Yeah.
Or how about Hunter? Smoking crack, lying on the gun permit. All the things that we would all get in trouble for if we did any of those things.
Right.
How come they're not... If you're going to be hard on somebody, just do it to both candidates. Right. I feel like they only do that to Donald Trump.
To Donald Trump. And the Republican Party and the conservative movement as a whole.
Absolutely.
We're looked at as like a cult. Like we're the villains.
Well, the Hunter laptop, obviously, that's all real. But because I was talking about that, with Giuliani and whatnot, they took all my accounts.
Yeah.
Where's the apology that the laptop is real? Just like all of the people that they've always censored. It has nothing to do with dangerous content.
Yes.
There's no dangerous content.
Right.
But they're allowed to have Antifa riots that they schedule, but they'll leave that on Facebook. What's that about?
Let's talk. So
that's an insurrection.
When we talk, that's definitely an insurrection. When we talk about censorship, we had Mark Zuckerberg. He came up on the Hill and he admitted that the Biden and Harris administration, that they pressured him to censor COVID-19 information on Facebook. This was said, this was known. The media did not run with this story. If this was the other way around, they would have ran this up all day, all night.
Because it doesn't fit their narrative.
It doesn't fit their narrative.
Do you understand what I'm saying? That's not their narrative. Oh no, they don't want that to get out there for the masses. That's the thing. They're really hypocritical.
Yes.
And they want to divide people. They flip flop. You want to be inclusion, this, that, but you're not really like that.
You're not really like that
at all.
Yeah. I think that their tactics divided a lot of us. Like for me, I've been very open about when I talk. I've gained new family and new friends doing what I'm doing now.
Oh, me too. I've met so many great people during the process of this movement that some of my best and closest friends.
Yes.
So in a way, there's a path for everything, because in life, we're always evolving, right? We always want to try to do better than we did yesterday. That's the point. But really what we got to get back to is making family a priority. Mm-hmm. We don't know how much time that we really have here. Yeah. Everybody lives in this infinite, like it goes on and on. It doesn't go on and on. So the time that we have here with our loved ones, sometimes maybe we need to put these phones and the social media and all this away, have dinner with your family, actually speak to each other.
Now we spoke, me and you have been speaking a little bit off camera and leading up, just getting in a good rapport with each other about how we see things. And a lot of things that you say to me is resonating about, we need to come together and we need unity and things like that. Now, I see things, I can't agree to that. I think I think the 76 million people that voted for this side, I think we are together. I told somebody this. I got interviewed by the Inquirer not too long ago, and I told this lady, I said, white people, black people, and Latinos, we all been talking amongst each other, and we all getting along.
Yeah.
And we stopped listening to y'all a long time ago, and we went over to X, and she just was like, we don't like the editorial board. We don't like anything about y'all, right? So when I hear you say this about, we need to come together, and I think a lot of it is you being hopeful and you having the God spirit in you.
So no, when I say, I want to make you understand. So when I say that, it means in the sense that we need the media to stop lying to everybody. There needs to be accountability for that, because that's ridiculous. I mean, people get killed over whatever is on that screen.
Yes,
do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's family, like you said before, they don't talk to each other.
Yes.
I have this problem in my own family. Like, people will treat you different, and I don't even care. I'll just tell you, it's my father, and it's a hard thing.
Same thing with me.
It's a very hard thing, and I just tell them, let's not talk about politics. But what it really is, and I'm going to tell you, when people, they have cognitive dissonance, okay? When you're presented with all the information, look, the media lied to you, here's it right here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We can do that with a million different subjects, right? But look, it's right here. It's right here. It's okay. You can admit it. You got duped. Right. They lied to all of us. You know what I mean? I think people are stuck in their belief system that they've already argued with their friends and family, their loved ones, their coworkers. And then, like, if they have to say, okay, you were right. Guess what? At first, I didn't vote for Trump in 2016 because I didn't know. And I'm okay with that. Right. What matters is I educated myself to lift the veil, in a sense, to actually understand what's going on. And really what's going on right now, this whole collective, the veil is being lifted. Yeah. So as crazy and chaotic as of a time that we've had the past couple of years, and boy, has it been chaotic. Yeah. It has woken us up in a different way. Yeah. That could hopefully lead to healing, is what I want to say.
I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
To your point, and then I was going to lead me to my other thing. When you got legacy media, people like ignorant Joy Reid, and she's telling people for Thanksgiving, don't sit with your MAGA family, don't have them over for dinner.
That's divide. You shouldn't even be allowed to do that. But if we were doing that on our side, if the Republicans were doing that, can you imagine what the headlines would be like?
Right. I've been to 2 Trump rallies. I've been to a town hall, and I'm new to the party. I used to be in the Matrix. I used to be asleep. I used to be, it's all victim mentality. And I've said this on
but that's also by design too. Make no mistake. They
this
do
is
that
some
by
of the
design.
Nicest, kindest. I'm not saying this side is perfect, but what I'm saying is the side that what they claim to be.
What they're accusing of other people is everything they're doing.
This over here has been the ones that's been talking about God. This has been the people who have invited me into their homes. They'll get the shirt off their back. These are the people who turned the other cheek. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When we could be aggressive. And they had the means to be aggressive. This is the one to believe in the gun and the gun rights and things like that. So you look at it, it's like this is the one who's been practicing stoicism and patience. And so I like a lot of the ideologies and the traits over here, right? Yeah. So I want to ask you, for you personally, when did you get out the Matrix? What was the defining moment for you? You said in 2016 you didn't vote for Trump.
I didn't vote for him in 2016.
Yeah. When did it click for you? What was the moment
during that period of my life? I'm a single mom. I was washing dishes. You listen to the media, and they would always be talking bad about Trump, and I never really understood it. But I think everybody just thought like that because, again, you saw it on the scrring, you thought it was real. Not until 2017 I started to wake up, but in 2018, obviously I liked Trump, but I didn't understand politics the way I understand it now. Mm-hmm. In July of 2018, somebody that I dated for a couple years, he was a great guy. He was murdered in Center City. And the way that it played out in the media was that, we have the first George Soros funded prosecutor, Larry Krasner, Okay. I think that he wanted to make a bigger name for himself, or it was part of their plan, the Soros funded DAs, and, they're anywhere that those DAs are, it's chaos, as you know. He used Sean as political persecution, really. You use someone else's life.
This is how I can get in my career, get further in my career.
Correct.
This is the case right here.
And Sean was white, and his killer was black, and during this time, it was probably the most tragic thing that has ever happened. Like, it shocked me to the core. I really cared about this person. And to look on the TV, every time I turned on the TV, they were trying to make him look racist. I mean, his best friend is black. An 80-year-old woman got up at his funeral and said he was like my son and everything. And the media is going to sit here and do this. It's just horrible. I mean, it's sad enough that he's gone. His mom, you know, it's hard for a mother to go through that. And then the way that Krasner treated his mother, I mean, had her in there in the office talking, you know, this, everything's fine. They act like they're on your team. And then they basically, you know, totally like switched it all on you. Like, a mother is already going through this. How can you do this to another human being? I don't care what side you are on. That's, you know, a life is a life, right? If you take a life, you need to prosecute that. He didn't prosecute the crime the correct way. It got dropped. It was actually a national case. And I'm going to tell you that we're talking about legacy media. Tucker Carlson was one of the only people to tell the facts of the case the correct way, because it was a national case. Sadly, you know, Krasner and Mayor Kenny were going to colleges talking about prison reform during an active trial. Now, I wonder if that was the other way around on our side. How would that play out? Think about that.
Exactly.
It could never, they would never.
Hypocrisy.
Oh my gosh. But the headlines, what I had to look at every day. Oh, there wouldn't be justice. A rich white man, a poor black man wouldn't have. What are you talking about right now? You guys are crazy. He was unarmed. This person was armed. Okay, they got away with it. They don't get to go to jail. But the DA, and that's just one case. There's a lot of black on black crime too. They only sensationalize that because it's like a show. You know, But guess what? It's somebody's real life, and they have real family, and it's not right. So that's what really woke me up. And when I tell you that for the past 6 years, I've made it my mission to expose Krasner for what he's done. And obviously, you know, this was 6 years ago, so the city wasn't as crazy as it is now. But, you know, he needs to be exposed in a big way.
Now, I have friends that are Philadelphia police officers.
Yeah, me too.
They all say the same thing. I feel bad for them. They all say the same thing. I haven't met one. They all say if, God forbid, their time comes sooner than, you know, than they would like it to. They said they don't want Krasner at their funeral. They said he's an evil man. I need people to really understand what we're talking about. This guy doesn't have he doesn't have a soul. If you can believe what you're saying, right? I mean, I saw this interview that he did, I think it was on Fox, and they were basically telling him, why don't you just resign? Like the anchors are saying that, you know, and he's so 500 murders a year.
The problem is he thinks that he's a celebrity. That's how he acts. You know what I mean?
Like he's big shit.
F around him to find out.
You're trying to rhyme things when it comes, you know, to the gangs in the city.
Listen, the Constitution is the Constitution. This is Philadelphia. I mean, what a special place. 1776. This is where it all started, right? It's sad that this is the birthplace of America and that we have somebody like that.
Well, listen, what we're doing right here. You see this right here?
Yeah.
Krasner and the people like him, they don't want this. They don't
want us.
A white woman talking to a black man.
Absolutely not.
Because they can't control
the narrative.
They can't control the narrative. They can't control my community as well. They've made it so to where, like, they took, you know, your fiance's case or whatever.
Well, he wasn't my fiance, but
not your fiance. No. I'm sorry, but somebody you had a relationship with. They took that,
sensationalized
it. They took it and said, you know what, I can, you know, further my career with this. And they do things that are similar to keep victim mentality in my community, to keep us angry at each other. You know, we can't have these open
They've always done that, though. What is it the Democrats done for the black community?
何. And I speak
what
about
Black Lives Matter? All that money that got raised. First of all, none of those people got in trouble. Just like Antifa. But again, they're all organizations that are funded by the left, by that side. I mean, I would be at you remember they were trying to take all the statues down and whatnot.
Right, yes.
Columbus statue, and they have it was very organized, these people, you know, they have the phone numbers right here on their shoes. I called one of the numbers. And it's an actual a law firm that is paying for the people to get bailed out. So these are the lengths that the left would go to, you know. But what I wanted to say is, left or right, nobody wants to have a loved one killed. You know what I mean? This is at some point.
But we're just pawns on the board to them, so they're not worried about
the puppet masters. Okay, the people that people think run the world, right? Those leaders, that's not the ones.
Let's talk about it.
There's a deep. It's called the deep state, you know, and you probably know about that. But the deep state is what controls everything.
what you bringing up, the globalists, the deep state,
our banking system, everything,
World Economic
the IRS,
Forum, the World Health Organization, the Soros.
Right.
When you say these buzzwords,
Soros is actually banned from a couple different countries where he's not even allowed to come there, which that's how it should be.
We can't even get to this conversation in my community about what's really going on because they're so stuck on stupid stuff, emotional stuff, race.
Well, no, they're in that. So what they do, and that's by design what they did with the race, because they can keep us at this level, keep them fighting, let them with this, and we'll control them with the screen. And while they're doing this over here and signing all these other orders, or Obama at one time when he was sending $2 billion, nobody even had to sign off on it. I mean, it's crazy stuff.
Money laundering and all this stuff that they're trying to do.
But imagine you don't pay a parking ticket, they come get your car, or you don't pay.
So we're fighting the wrong person. Like we're fighting.
But yes, you're right.
Yeah, we're not recognizing who the true enemy is.
Right.
And I think that's a problem. You brought up a lot of great points. You talk about the BLM riots that was going on and how they got us destroying our own neighborhoods.
I mean, I had Antifa. I was in Minnesota actually that same week when George Floyd was killed.
And that's what Tampon Tim was the governor there, God, right?
He's delusional.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah. So and when I was, it was definitely a paid protester coming near me in the line.
Yeah.
F you, white privilege, Becky, and all this. And I turned around, I said something back, but it was not racist at all what I said. I said, I don't know you, you don't know me, whatever. The guy goes and puts me on the internet. Megan's racist. I'm not a racist person. Everyone knows that. But people didn't even look at the video, because if you looked at the video, there was nothing racist. But just because the guy put that, I was getting death threats, all kinds of crazy. Now imagine somebody that I cared about was killed by, but it's not even about race. Like, they really created an environment during that time, that George Floyd time. It was so horrible. You could feel the divide in the energy, like we've come so far. Martin Luther King,
Yeah. I totally agree. And I think we're closer than what they're trying to say that we are.
Yeah, they want to keep people suppressed. Okay. The information that we're sharing, or the conversations that we're having with each other, that's their biggest fear, right? There's more of us than there are of them. They could only keep the control for so long. In the media, they have done this for many, many years. And also, I don't know if you know this, Obama actually, I don't know what year it was in, but he actually signed something into place where basically they were allowed to promote the propaganda.
Yes.
That's not in our best interest at all. So not only are we debt slaves, because that's what they treat us like, you know, and the original Constitution, which that'll come out, people are going to figure that out soon enough too. There's just a lot of things about our history that the victors have changed on us. They're not honest to us about. And, I think where we're headed, society is going to be in a better way.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
What
the best is yet to come. Just remember what I'm telling you.
Okay. I'm going to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
When it comes to things that they've said, right? They've said that men, especially the Latino men and the black men, they're misogynist, and they called a lot of white women uneducated if you didn't go to college. Or we got to stop using college as the barometer for intelligence as well. But if you didn't vote for Kamala, these were the things they were saying about.
But why do you even have to go to that? Like, why can't you just not like someone's policies? Why does it have to be about race, or that it's a girl, or any of these? Like, I don't really understand that. They say they want to talk about racist or this and that. That is kind of racist, like what you're doing, like how you're trying to. It's so weird. They talk out of both sides of their mouth. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Pick a side and stay there.
So, what policies resonated with you? That Trump spoke about that you say, you know what, I'm gonna support this candidate?
First of all, I love Donald Trump. I've met Trump a few times. I've been in Mar-a-Lago many times. I've seen him speak many times. I don't know where he gets, number one, where he gets the energy to do what he's doing. He doesn't have to do it. I feel like he stands up to the deep state. They can't put him in their pocket. And there's only one other person that's really been able to be like that, which was John F. Kennedy. There's a reason. There's a lot of things that are going to come out soon that, that are going to really open people's eyes in a different way. And then you realize, wow, I've been holding on to this one thing this whole time. And my perception was that this is how these events of our past have played out. And imagine these events of our past, they've been able to control how different groups or people interact. I mean, half these wars that we're having, they're all made. They make them.
Right.
And who are the people that get killed? Our brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Right? That's not right.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're funding all the sides. And the people don't know that because they're looking at what they're seeing on TV.
Yes. They're distracted.
Oh, yeah. And who would ever think that the media was lying? I mean, not until the past couple of years with this awakening and COVID and everything else. I mean, the past couple of years, it's felt like 20 years and 5, really. You know, it's been a lot.
Has your life, since you awakened, like, has your life
completely
been the same?
Changed? No, nothing about my life is the same. The things that I used to care about or used to do, I don't care to do.
Yeah.
Or I'm looking at whatever it is from such a different lens now.
Yeah.
That the things that I would never, question or think of, I'm like, well, how about this? Or what about that? You know, it just almost it's like it unlocks another part of your brain that you didn't even know was there.
Nah,
so I really do think that, the mission right now in life in general, we need to bring, God back in the churches. The music and the movies, they do a lot of programming to people through that,
I heard they got a budget, the CIA, and they got a Hollywood, but they got a budget to fund their propaganda movies and control a lot of the narrative through these movies that they put out. So, I think I heard.
And they also blackmail all the artists and the celebrities.
Yeah. Through the Diddy, Epstein
what do you
stuff.
think? Yeah. He's got videos on everybody. So it's easier to control people when
Cash Patel just
you have something serious on them. But that's the whole thing, in Hollywood, and I used to act and model, so I would be in LA a lot. I mean, luckily for me, I have discernment and I know who I am.
Yeah.
So as a woman, the casting couch has always been around if that's what you're into. But if you have self-respect for yourself, but this is the world that we live in. They're promising these young people stardom, and whether you're a man or woman, I mean, with Diddy, he had guys doing stuff that were like straight men, but it wasn't about that. That's about power. They just want power.
Right.
So really what's happening is you're seeing, it's all coming out. And I think it's for a reason to have the awakening. And that's really essentially what we're going through right now is an awakening at the same time.
Let's bring it. I want to bring it back down to earth for some people because sometimes we can simplify, and because it's the small things sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about in your circles or whatever, the woman that you might find yourself around. Is they've been able to get rid of the nuclear family, and this is not the thing to be anymore.
And it's sad.
Like, is it
you got a lot of, and also let me tell you something else. I also think that these dating sites and all this, I think it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand.
And I feel bad. I mean, a lot of people, everybody wants to be in love or be happy and everything, but people are treating it like a catalog, left, right. You know,
all superficial stuff that you can see.
I actually miss life before these phones.
Yeah.
When you used to write a girl a note. Like actually there was no DM that could come through. You're picking the girl up at 7:00, going to the movies on a Friday. There was no, life was different then.
Yeah.
So there's also with the phones and the technology, there's plus and minuses, but in our generation, and we're seeing it the most. Think about how much our lives were when we were kids.
Right.
Might have had a pager at some point, but you were
able
outside
to be meeting
kids.
people.
Kids were able to be kids,
right?
And that's where the issue is. These kids now, it's psychologically, and they've done studies on it. These phones, it's the same part of your brain goes off as an addiction.
Mm-hmm. I get you. I understand that. That's real. Do you find that is marriage talked about? Is it a goal anymore with women in your demographic? Like, is it like a thing anymore? It's like, I want to be this type of woman, I want to have the kids. I want to have a husband.
There's a lot of my girlfriends, we talk about it all the time. And I have a lot of girlfriends too. They're freezing their eggs, they 38, 40 or older. And you haven't met the one yet or whatever. And like, these are the things that a lot of women, are having to deal with or struggle with. And maybe you didn't find the one, but you want to be able to say, okay, in my life, I had a child, so I just think it's the music, it's the society in general. Like,
what's some of the problems with the men that you might find, the woman that they say that they're coming across when it comes to, men? What are some of the problems they're running into?
I don't know that these men today are thinking about marriage like that.
Okay.
I'm not saying all, but
what
I'm saying is from a standpoint of what they do with the music and the movies and all this, and they make it like be a player, you know what I mean? You want to be in the club 4 or 5 nights a week, and just not even that. It's what are they rapping about,
Right.
So they are putting that out there.
I bring this up because the roles I feel like are like we've taken the proper role. Me and Mina, Miss Flip Philly Red over here, we spoke about this a lot about the roles are not what they used to be.
Yeah.
You know, with our grandparents, our great grandparents.
Everybody has a role. Like the mom is the homemaker, or you know, in the house. And I could say, and I'll speak like this because as a single mom, you know, I built a house and I know how to do things I never thought I would know how to do. I took a dishwasher apart before and learned how to do it. Okay. As a woman, you want to know that you can do it. Right. But really, as a woman also, men are supposed to be our protectors, right?
Absolutely.
And make you feel safe and, you know,
provide and
protect. And we're in a world now where women are having to do all the roles and then we're supposed to settle for what's out here.
I think they've done a great job at feminizing the men.
Oh, that 100% they did. And they do it in a lot of different ways.
Everything is cyclical. Everything ties into each other, you know, so when they...
You know, 1 in 4 high school children now are LGBT. That's not by accident.
Yeah, exactly.
1 in 4, that's a big number.
Yeah. It wasn't like that when we were growing up. It wasn't just, you might have one kid in the school or the class or something that was a little different, fine. But now it's like half the class is like that.
Well, they're putting things like atrazine in the water supply. You know about atrazine?
No, I don't.
Atrazine, they actually did a study where they gave it to frogs and it turned the frogs into...
Oh, you know, I did hear
the
this.
Women,
yeah,
like women
I did.
Or whatever. But like, this is what I'm saying. They do poison our foods and our water and all those things. That's factually fact.
Yeah.
But I just think that we need to get back to where men are raising their sons. And you also got to think there is a lot of single moms that are raising these sons by themselves. So they are going to be a little bit maybe feminine because maybe if they didn't have that male role model in their life, you know?
Wow, this is very true. I want to talk about stereotypes. One thing that I find that, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm going to make you aware now, whatever. In my community, that because my goal is I want to change the culture. I want to kill stereotypes. I want to say that this is not what you once thought is not what it really is. And the only way we can have these conversations is because it's like I said, this is not what they want. They don't want, you know, a black young man speaking to a white young woman. And this is like, oh my God, like this is forbidden, right? So in my community, right, a lot of the black women, they'll say that they'll chastise black men. And then they'll say that the only reason why you're able to get certain white women is because white men didn't want them. The best of them didn't want them. So I want to ask you, how do you feel about mixed relationships or mixed marriages? And is this a conversation or anything that you're aware of in your friend groups?
Well, I have plenty of friends that are in interracial relationships. So I don't think that, you know, if you love somebody, you love them. But I have seen it's actually a very judgmental way to think about anybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that the opposite of being inclusion and all the stuff that they talk about, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Why is anybody worried about what I'm doing? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's weird that somebody would big time someone else because of the color of somebody's skin. Who do they choose to love? It's crazy.
Yeah, honestly.
But I have seen that a lot.
You have seen that a lot, right?
Or like the black women will sometimes say that, you know, if they sometimes get to a certain level or, you know, they get mad, or if they see an athlete, for instance, if they see an athlete married to a white woman or something online, you could see the comments.
There you go. Right.
People just have no shame to with their own name and picture, and you're commenting on a stranger's interracial relationship. What are you actually doing? Maybe you need to go read the book. Read the book.
This is crazy. Cause I say this, when you get to heaven, there's not going to be a white side and a black side. These are stupid games that humans play.
We are so past this.
Yeah.
What we all should be upset about right now is the fact that they even brought it back. All that we've evolved as a society, you know, Martin Luther King, everything that he did, it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They try to play in our faces like things were a way that they weren't, but they're doing that to elicit a response from people.
Emotional response,
anger. They want rage, you know, and what they did, there should be consequences for.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes unchecked.
Yeah.
And I've said this on many platforms. Ms. Mina have heard me say this, like, you know, I've never been through segregation. I don't know what being hung might feel like or getting denied at restaurants. I never had to walk down the street and put my eyes down because a white woman passed me.
It's never happened.
I've met way more, you know, not way more. I'm saying I've met a lot of nice people of different colors, races, religions.
There's good people and there's bad people in every, you know what I'm saying? It's like to say that all white people are bad, or
Yeah.
to say that all Christians or whatever it
Yeah.
is. It's a judgmental.
Yeah.
It's not right.
It's crazy. So I felt like if we had these conversations
Yeah,
more out and
I
make it
agree.
and normal, no, this is what's normal.
Yeah,
This is how we're going to change,
absolutely.
you know, and so hopefully when the next election cycle comes, you know, all of the stuff, the nonsense that you thought, and you know, it's not.
People are definitely, I feel like, more educated in terms of anything political. I mean, I remember being younger, we weren't looking at that or seeing what they're voting on at Capitol Hill or doing any of that. Now you can actually watch the hearings,
Yes,
and see some of the nonsense that's going on, you know,
yes,
because in our minds, I guess we thought, oh, everybody that's elected, they're all good, you know, this, well, we see in the past couple of years, and the veil's been lifted, they're not all good.
Yeah, they're not.
You know,
no, people are flawed, and you know, you give grace to ones who mean well, and then some people are truly evil, and they know what you know, and they are purposely trying to destroy and divide us, you know. So
I mean, think about it, they didn't want people to share natural remedies.
Yeah,
you get banned for that. So what did you want? Did you want people to die? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
where's the accountability and the apology
right,
for all the lies? I mean, health wise, people, it divided a lot of people. Imagine how many people they weren't talking because they were fighting about politics, right? And then if their loved one dies, and then you have to remember that you guys weren't getting along or whatever. That's the part where it makes my heart sad, because I want, regardless of politics, and it's your family and your friends, like, everybody just needs to be kinder to each other.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay if somebody doesn't think the same way as you. That's okay.
Right.
We have to respect each other's boundaries.
I totally agree. And so that brings me to a head, and I think that, you know, what the goal is, and I totally agree, is that we got to work a little bit harder at having patience for one another.
Absolutely.
We need God back.
It costs nothing to be kind.
Yeah, we need God back, and you know, in everything.
And listen, the book Revelations, it's playing out in real time right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. Yes. I think everybody should go and read this.
This is true.
Yep.
The signs are here, and we don't need to be afraid. Nope. You know, I
360 times, 365 times in the Bible it says, "Do not be afraid."
I saw that. Right. Yeah, I loved it because it's real. And I tell people that's close to me, I said, God has woke us up, certain people, warriors,
absolutely,
and said, "This is your time." I don't know if it's going to be in our lifetime. What's going to come next? It's going to be in
our lifetime.
Okay. I tell people it's our time now to fight, and whatever comes next, you know, we've won. We got the victory already. Yeah. You know, so it's nothing.
And when we say fight, it's not being in a negative way.
No.
We were just trying to help people wake up to the corruption and to what's really going on, because it's a lot of people, it's not even their fault that they have this belief system.
Right.
It's the media and lying to them, indoctrinating them for so many years. Like, it's so not right. It's not right. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. So this is not the only time.
Well, you also know that Trump is, he's going to be letting like independent, you know,
podcasters, media.
I mean, how great is that? Right. I think that's amazing.
It is.
You know, it almost goes back to the point where they act like you're worthless if you don't go to college. That's not true at all. A lot of the billionaires in the world did not go to college.
Yeah. I'm all for that now. Like, that is no longer the barometer of who's more intelligent than others. A lot of these, unless it's STEM or something like that, I get it, or, you know, something very specific.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But a lot of these degrees be in stuff that's
you
can't even get a career.
Come out of college, you can't get a job. Debt. Not even that. You got $100,000 of debt.
Yeah.
With the rates as high as they are right now. I mean, the thought of being to try to be a homeowner right now with the rates, like, they made it impossible for a lot of people. Right. You know?
Yeah. So I'm that's no longer that, and they purposely play with them words. Oh, you watch CNN and say, well, the college educated voted for Kamala, and the non-college uneducated, they voted for Trump. You're trying to say that all the people that voted for Trump are stupid. All these millionaires and business owners.
No, but you have to ask yourself why, though. What is it that they're trying to hide?
Yeah.
Now, it's a little bit interesting to me that the whole Diddy Epstein list are the ones that are over here that were, you know, her supporters.
Yeah.
So that should make a light go off in everyone's head, too, and keep that in mind.
Well, Kash Patel just got the FBI, became the FBI director, and he said he wants to declassify majority of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. They're going to declassify 9/11. They're going to declassify JFK files. I mean, there's a lot of things about our past that they're not honest of. And we as American people, we have the right to know.
Yes. I'm excited about it. Who was probably your, before we get out of here, who was like your favorite nomination so far? Who has it been? I'm curious. Who do you like the most? Who you most
I would say
excited about?
Cash Patel because he's not playing around.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about. I like
Yeah.
how, this is the first time also too where you even see these people in these positions
Yeah.
talking to the people on podcast or
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
seeing a different side of them
Right.
that maybe, before years ago, we would just see whatever they're showing us on TV.
Right.
When you get to see these people in a podcast for an hour or 2
Yeah.
hours, you're seeing who they are and their
Who they
essence
really
as
are
a person.
As a person. And that's monumental.
I mean,
they come through their farm system of psyop people. It's like, where do you get this character?
Can you imagine Kamala trying to sit on Joe Rogan for 10 minutes,
My
let alone
God.
2
Yeah,
hours?
we know why she didn't go on there. It'd have been exposed. It was
Which crazy. Yeah. I don't understand the whole Kamala thing because at least I don't understand. They can't hire AI. You can make the speech with AI and you just read it from the teleprompter. I mean, it's
Joe
crazy.
Rogan was going to destroy her, pick her apart. She's not a real person. She
won't talk to any media. Period.
Yeah, no, it's all scripted.
The awkward laugh.
Yeah, the laugh. Everything.
I mean, not even that. You know what else is a disservice? One day she wants to be Indian, the next day she wants to be black. What is that?
And we were for calling it out. Candace Owens did a
I
beautiful.
Love Candace.
She did great research and found out how she lied about her
grandma
and
the pictures and everything.
And your grandmom died in 1960, and you was born in 1964, so you never met your grandmother.
But that's another example of it. See how when she put it out there like that, and she goes, "If somebody can help," and people that are watching that podcast, they helped get that information for her. So if you think about it, that's a group. It's like an interactive effort, really.
Yeah, got a whole team of viewers that start doing, making calls.
And that's what people want to hear, the truth. Yeah. I mean, think about it. People, you're waking up, you go to work, pay bills. It's always stress. Inflation's high,
Do you got another 4 years to waste? I don't got another 8 years to waste.
I feel like we can't get the time back. So I'm trying to live the best life and the most positive energy and positive people.
Yes.
And hopefully, what my heart tells me is that we're going into a much, much better time and the best is yet to come.
I believe it. So keep fighting, Patriot.
Yes.
And
fight.
Fight. And we're going to have you back on.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me. Always good to see you.
Thank you. Episode 30. Like, subscribe, share.